Hello, and welcome to the Latinas in Tech Career Fair. This is the Traeger Grills info session. We're super excited to have Traeger here today to talk about open positions with them. If you're in the chat, say hi. Let us know where you are tuning in from. We're super excited. We'll have a Q&A at the end of the session. So please put questions in the chat if any come up throughout the session that you'd like to ask the team from Traeger. And I am going to go ahead and turn the time over to Josh from Traeger Grills.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining our info session. I could talk Traeger Grills all day, so I'm super excited to meet with everybody, especially with this group near and dear to my heart. My mom's from Peru, so when I heard the Latinas in Tech Council was a part of this, I was super excited to jump on this. So grateful for everybody to be here today. We're going to talk a little bit about Traeger, kind of who we are as a company, and also what opportunities are there for you, specifically focused on tech. I have two members of our team here from our tech team. We have Beth Lacara, who's our mobile product manager, and then we have Lizzie Saltzman, who's our IT program manager. And they'll talk a little bit more specifically about what their teams do and what they're currently working on. And then we'll open it up to questions after that. So to begin, I'm going to play a quick video for you guys to kind of show you what life is like at Traeger, especially pre-COVID days. I'm actually at the office here today, which is fairly rare. You know, our office is open and luckily things are looking better in Utah. So we're slowly starting to kind of maybe trickle back in, but wanted to share a quick video to show you guys maybe what life is a little bit like at Traeger. And so let me make sure I'm doing this right. Share sound.
We're not just building steel objects, we are teaching the world to cook. Post Skull Candy, I met this amazing brand called Traeger that had been around for 30 years.
Well, I get to cook every day and make people happy, and my passion to cook, so I love it.
And I'm always kind of the naysayer on his investments. I have loved Traeger. I want him to stay forever and ever. It's been so fun for our family.
They say that you cannot trust a skinny chef. That is true. The reality is, I am not the face of this brand. I am not the face of barbecue.
I think the first thing that I noticed was the culture and the team that Jeremy was building.
We cook every day for our team. We think just eating our own cooking and living the culture and the lifestyle is so important.
You know, my favorite part about Traeger is just that food connects everyone. So no matter where we are around the world, my job's the international business development, and so globally you just meet the most amazing people around the table.
My vision around being in Sugar House was that it's an awesome place to have creative talent, marketing, to really attract people both within the state and outside of the state.
It's all about the team and building the culture first and living the brand and having those aspects of how we live our lives transfer into our product and into our community. And
I put my phone in my pocket, I go for a mountain bike ride, and I check in on my brisket from way up the hill.
He's always very even keel. When things are awesome, you know, he's right there steady. And when things are not going so great, he's right there steady.
This is not your typical office. Our grills are steel. You'll see fire elements, and we're creating recipes. We're making food. Oh, I'm so sad that the camera can't smell.
The atmosphere at Traeger is unlike anywhere I've ever worked before. It gets me excited to wake up and come here every single day.
Early on in my career, failure felt fatal. And now in moments that feel tough, I see it as an intriguing learning experience, and I don't feel the same pressure. I feel more motivated by the challenge. Our brand is rustic. It stands for wood, its flavor, its richness. As a CEO, what I care about the most is that people actually have a good time and a good experience. Feels fun to me.
Awesome. So I know question number one that is probably on most of your minds is life really like that at Traeger? Is it really one big party? Lizzie and Beth, are we constantly partying like that in the movies? Or in the movie, in the thing, yeah. I mean,
we pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yes, pre-COVID, yes. Good call there, Beth. Pre-COVID, it really is. I mean, we're an experienced brand, and that's really what we try to live here as an employer is make sure that we're living our brand and creating a great experience for employees. And That's sort of what I wanted to speak to today is kind of who we are as an employer and why you might want to work for a company like Traeger. And oftentimes when I'm meeting with potential candidates and interviewing people about Traeger, I'll often get questions, a very common question I get is, what's your favorite part about working at Traeger? And for me personally, I would say the biggest thing that really is a big separator for me as far as my job satisfaction level here at Traeger is, I think when you're looking for a job, you want to look for the right fit for you. And what I mean by that is I feel that, there are a lot of things out there that you can find at any company. You can find good people to work with, right? Like most of us, no matter where you go, you're going to find great people to work with. Most people are good. You can be at any company, you can find a job that you love, right? Because most people choose a career path that they want to be in. At least I hope they do. But what I think is unique to Traeger and what I love the most about working here is I feel that I have finally found a company to work for that I am truly passionate about the company's product and mission. And I think that's rare. I don't think it's easy to find a company that you truly have a passion for their product and their mission. I think before we got on this info session, Beth and Lizzie, we were talking and we were talking about how we use our Traegers nearly every day, like at home. And we really do. And I think that's the big separator for here, for the employees here at Traeger is when you're truly passionate about it, you don't have to force yourself to get behind the company's mission or the company's product like you might have to do at some other places. It just takes your job satisfaction to the next level because regardless of what company you're at, every company has its pain points. But when you're passionate about what they're trying to achieve and you're passionate about their product, it makes those pain points seem so minuscule, especially for me anyways. I guess I should speak for myself on that. Maybe Beth and Lizzie feel differently, but that's what it is. That's the differentiator for me is I just love working for a company that, I'm constantly wearing Traeger gear. And if I run into somebody on the street and they want to talk Traeger with me, I'll talk Traeger all day long. And whereas at, my previous place of employment, though I loved the people I worked with and I loved what we were trying to achieve, I wasn't passionate about it. I came from a tech finance company and hard to get passionate about tech finance, at least from my perspective. And so that's what's really special about Traeger is everybody here is passionate, not just the people that have to be, right? Like not just the salespeople, not just the marketing people, across the company, from our accounting team to our supply chain team to everyone here is just so passionate about it. In fact, I think we surveyed our employee base recently via an anonymous survey platform. And we asked them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you refer our product or how enthusiastically would you refer our product to friends and family members? And I think our score came back at a 9.8. And so that just shows you just the level of excitement and passion that people have here at Traeger. And that's really what we're looking for when we're looking at candidates. We're looking for candidates that want to work on a product that they themselves would use, that their families can use. And I think that's something different, right? I think most of you, if you're looking for a tech role, oftentimes you just think to yourself that, like your first thought are SaaS companies. And we're here today to tell you that there's life outside of SaaS. I think our tagline for Traeger is we're kicking gas in the ass. And so today I want to say that we are kicking SaaS in the ass when it comes to tech roles. Just kidding. If there's anybody from Pluralsight or any from other companies on this call, we love you. But we do want people to know that there are roles out there, exciting roles in tech for cool consumer products like Traeger that you have opportunities to grow your career through. And so that's why I brought Beth and Lizzie here today to kind of talk about what an experience is like, what their experiences are like in a tech role for Traeger. And so I'll turn the time over to Beth to kind of talk about what she does from the mobile product side and talk about what her role is and kind of what her team and what her team is working on currently. So go ahead, Beth.
Yeah, I'm going to apologize if there's any banging in the background right now. Our roof is being redone currently, the joys of work from home. But as Josh said, I'm a mobile product manager. So I primarily get to work with our application that works with our grills. So the really neat thing about our Traegers, like you saw in the video, is that you can basically set your Traeger up to start its smoke or its grill, whatever, and walk away and be able to monitor your cook and control it from your phone. And so that app is basically where I spend most of my time there, specifically around our recipe experience and everything just shy of like actually talking to the grill. So everything to optimize, finding recipes, how you look and interact with that recipe, all the way through to what we call our make now flow. So being able to actually decide when you're ready to cook something, getting different views so that you can see the different recipe steps, things like that. And I also interact with that experience on our web platform. So my team primarily focuses on the mobile application, but we really truly look at that kind of seamless end-to-end experience. So making sure that our consumer, any part of the journey that they're interacting with our recipe experience, they know exactly where they are, they know what they're doing and what they're after, and can do so seamlessly across the grill, the app, and the web. I'll hand it over to Lizzie and she can give a little intro for herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lizzie. I am an IT program manager at Traeger. So what that means is that's kind of our words to try to create this unicorn position of project manager and product manager to kind of create an umbrella over a certain organization of our company and all of the technologies that they use. So I work with the sales team right now in working on all of the different tech pieces that we can do to make things work better, faster, and easier for our sales team, and then also for our customers, like our dealers, and then our B2C customers as well. So one of the things that we just rolled out is our Smoke Shack, which is a website for our dealers to be able to order products directly through us without having to go through a person. So we get to use technology to kind of enable a lot of different automations and stuff from a business standpoint, which is super fun. And I get to work directly with the IT development team. So we get a lot of visibility into new ideas around Python scripts and data management and pushing the limits of how we can do things better with the latest technologies that are coming out from a business standpoint, which is super fun. And I will second and third what you saw in the video. When I first started at Traeger, I didn't believe it. I thought it was too good to be true. But the culture is really what drew me to the company. And from the first day I arrived, it was like a family. Like you walk in and everybody, you all sit together to eat lunch together. Everybody talks about Traegers. I learned more about different cuts of meat in my first week at Traeger than I think I had my whole life, which is phenomenal. And it was great that coming from kind of like a nerdy tech background that I could find this company that was super fun, that's pushing like the limits, pushing culture, and making things super fun, exciting, fast-paced, challenging. I still get to learn in my area, but with all of these other people that are really diverse, that are super fun, and in this brand that's just really amazing to work for.
Yeah, awesome, Lizzie and Beth. Thank you so much for giving us insight into your guys' teams and experience. You know, and Lizzie is so right. I mean, we put such an emphasis on culture here, and you know, even through the challenging work from home that we've been doing the last year, you know, we really still have such a strong emphasis on finding creative ways to keep our culture alive and well as we're working from home. But you know, beyond that, we really are cognizant of making sure that our employees have amazing experiences here, challenges that will grow them, you know, grow their skill sets in their career. And, you know, it's just such an emphasis of ours as we continue to grow. I mean, our business and company is just growing at a crazy speed. You know, I've been here for about 5 years now, and to see where the company has gone in the last 5 years is just insane. And to see the success and the trajectory that our business is on right now, especially, you know, with COVID, last year was a really, you know, our business performed really well, and it was, you know, it's a testament to our amazing leadership team that we have here that prepared us, you know, to experience or to go through the experience of what we went through last year. You know, they had the company ready to handle and to shift and to be agile, you know, during uncertain times. And so it's just, you know, it's an awesome time to be at Traeger. We're growing like crazy. And so we're constantly looking for great people to bring on board. I don't know if any of you have been on the Fairstream job site yet, but we have about 4 tech roles specifically that we're hiring for, but we're hiring pretty much across every function in the business. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me or anybody on my team, and we'd be happy to discuss with you. So with that, I guess we'll leave the last 10 minutes or so to any questions that you guys might have for myself, from the company or culture perspective, or, specifically about, the tech teams for Beth and Lizzie.
Awesome. Thank you so much for telling us about Traeger and the culture and everything there. That is awesome. I just want to kick off the Q&A by saying, how did you end up coming to Traeger, and what is your favorite thing about being there?
Yeah, I came to Traeger, like I said, about 5 years ago now. And as I mentioned earlier, I came from a tech finance company. Our Traeger CEO actually was an investor in my last company, so I kind of got to meet him through there. And then once an opportunity came available, I just, after meeting him and coming into the office and feeling the culture and environment, it's just completely different. My goal as the head of recruiting at Traeger, if we have a great candidate, my goal is to get them into the office as soon as possible, because the moment you come in here, you feel it. Like, it's just different. It's just a different atmosphere that it's hard to explain without experiencing. And so that's really what drew me here, is the leadership team, and then just the difference of culture and environment.
Awesome.
Yeah, I actually have a fun way of how I ended up at Traeger. I moved across the country about 2 years ago and was working previously for a healthcare IT company, and was very deep in healthcare and was ready to kind of get out of healthcare. And there was an opportunity at Traeger that opened up for a product manager position, and that's my skill set and background. And Josh isn't kidding. You get into the office, and I got hired like a little before COVID, so we were squeezing it in there before the office pivoted to be work from home. But truly, my favorite part are the people I work with. I adore who I work with. We have a really great, awesome relationship. There's a lot of like open, transparent conversations we're able to have. It's truly one of the few environments I've had the pleasure of working in where you can voice your opinions and be able to have those really constructive, deep conversations about like your user needs and how to make sure you're working in the right technologies, that I personally really appreciate and love.
I started my career working in ski resorts, which you could imagine is like a pretty lighthearted, kind of crazy environment. And then from there, I moved into a different industry for a little while. So when I interviewed with Traeger and I felt that culture change, I felt like I was back to where I wanted to be, with that kind of friendly, lighthearted family feel of an office, which is what really drew me to Traeger. And like, they could have offered me, I don't want to say any amount of money, but that was like the biggest draw for me. Was I had learned that no matter how much money you make, if you hate your job, it is awful. And going into Traeger every single day, I feel appreciated. I feel valued. I feel like I have friendships at work. I feel it's just a really positive, energetic place to be. And I think that especially when you get to technology and kind of fast-paced environments, I think that is super important, because you feel the camaraderie and the friendships and the relationships that you have at work, and they really help drive you to be better, which is my favorite part of Traeger.
Awesome. Those are all great indicators about how wonderful Traeger is. We have a few questions asking if there are any upcoming internship positions with Traeger. Josh, you're on mute.
Hey, we're a year into this, and I'm still mistake. Unbelievable. So we take internships more at an ad hoc type of mentality. So if you're interested in any type of internship, reach out to me personally, and then I reach out to the department head and see if there are internship possibilities. I know in Lizzie's team we've had a couple of interns work for them, but it's more just it's less of like a systematic program than it is more ad hoc type of internships.
Okay, cool. We have a question from Luke. It says, we hear a lot of negatives about COVID. What have been some positives for the Traeger team during this challenging time?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Lizzie. I talk too much.
I think that I was really personally nervous when COVID came because our office culture is such a big part of Traeger that I was really worried that we were going to lose that. And then one of the best things I think that came from COVID is Traeger's just kind of ability to transition that into a virtual experience. So they started these kind of wild Monday morning meetings that are virtual. They mail stuff to the house randomly. So they kind of maintained that same vibe, but just in a virtual standpoint. And it allowed us a little bit more, honestly, like a look behind the curtain of a lot of people that we didn't get to see. So now, you're on a call, if you're in a meeting with Jeremy and his kids come in the room and you go, oh, he really has a life outside of this office building. And that's been really great. I think it's kind of helped grow relationships between us in ways that we didn't have in the office. Even though we had great relationships, we didn't have a lot of this personal family life situations that we've been able to see, which has been really great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I echo everything Lizzie just said. I think the other part that's been like really great out of COVID is like we've had like the availability from working from home with some slight like adjustments in people's schedule and recognizing for those who have family, if their kids like have a separate schedule, and it's kind of like humanized everybody.
Awesome. Let's see. We've got a question from Whitney. She says, I don't have a technical background, but I would love to transition into it in a few years. Would there be opportunities for her to do that at Traeger?
So as far as maybe clarify the question. I mean, are there opportunities to?
I think she's asking, like, are there like entry level technical positions for people that are coming from maybe not a technical background and they're transitioning between roles or industries?
One of the roles we have in our team is what we call a business analyst. And surprisingly, a lot of the best business analysts I've ever worked from have come from the business, right? Where they've had a role maybe as a dealer services agent or in customer service, and they understand that experience and they're able to kind of transition that more now into driving the technology and the process of our systems. And that, from my standpoint, that's actually how I transitioned into IT and tech, is starting out on that business side and then kind of stepping over into the other side once I had that knowledge of how the operations worked. So that's kind of one easy step over if you're interested in going that route.
Yeah,
perfect.
I would echo that.
Awesome. Do you have any entry-level positions in project management?
Not, I wouldn't say entry level. We actually just hired, unfortunately, we just hired two project managers on our product development team. But that was more mid-level type of project managers. I know, Beth, on your guys' team, you have a couple project managers, correct?
Yeah, we have one project manager, Jordan, who's exceptional. Right. I don't think we have any current open positions on our side. Yeah,
not right now, and they're typically like mid-level roles as opposed to entry level.
Okay, we have another question asking if someone has taken, they have a background in project management, but they've taken some time off from being in the workforce and they're re-entering back into the workforce. How do you recommend that they can transition back into the workforce from their sales background into the tech industry?
That's a good question. Lizzie, do you want to take a stab at this?
I would say to use all of it. So I think that in the tech world, it's really, really easy to get siloed and to get stuck kind of behind the curtain in just coding, programming, whatever it is that your skill set is. And anytime you have something on your resume that adds like business experience, operational experience, that experience from the front end of the people that you're now supporting or building for is huge for that. And I think it's really underestimated in how valuable that experience is. So I wouldn't be afraid to be 100% honest with that information, because a lot of times that's going to be a huge plus for you.
Yeah, and I would just from a pure standpoint of like re-entering a workforce, I would say don't be afraid to talk about that, right? Like too many people hide from that, and if a company is afraid to hire you because you've taken time out of the workforce, whether you were a stay-at-home mom or for whatever reason it might be, they're not worth it, right? And that's I stress that to candidates and friends of mine that are job hunting all the time is, I think too often candidates don't do enough research on their end or put enough thought on their end into who they want to work for, especially when you need a job, you just kind of apply, wherever and hope you get a job. And that's not the best way to go about things, right? Like you want to make sure that you're finding a company that you truly, want to be a part of and do your research. And if a company is not willing to consider you because you've taken some time out of the workforce, honestly, like, see you later, right? Like there's too many great companies out there that will look past that and look at your experiences and not necessarily even look past that, right? Because there's true value in that. And so find companies that will see that value in you.
Awesome. We've got time for probably one more question. Do you have an ideal background you look for in candidates for Traeger? Are you open to non-traditional backgrounds?
Yeah, so backgrounds, I mean, not knowing specifically what field he or she is asking for. I mean, yeah, I mean, we honestly just, like I mentioned before, the biggest thing that we look for here at Traeger is culture fit and team fit. And I, I hesitate to say that because when people say culture fit or team fit, it's not that you have to be just like everybody else that's here, right? Like we want to bring in different people and different perspectives and different backgrounds, but we want to bring in people culturally that are passionate, that are energetic, that are excited to create and work on a product that their friends and family can enjoy, right? Like those are the types of people that we want to be here. And so, yeah, I mean, depending on what role you're looking for, there are some roles that definitely you have to have a certain amount of experience in that field. But beyond that, we definitely have other roles that, we just look mostly for the best candidate with, that is a great culture fit.
Awesome. That was like a great place to end at. Thank you so much to Josh, Beth, and Lizzie for being here with Traeger today. We really appreciate your time and coming to talk about Traeger with the Latinas in Tech Utah Career Fair. Where should they look for you and or Traeger?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn. Josh Olofsson, Olofson is my name. You can go to our careers page. It's a nightmare right now. I'm working actually with Lizzie and her team to fix it because it's crazy. But you can find our openings on there. You can also find our openings on Fairstream as far as from the tech perspective. It's on there. You can also email me directly, josh@traegergrills.com. Super easy email to remember. So you can reach out to me at any time.
Perfect. Thank you so much again for being here. We appreciate your time today. And I am going to go ahead and let you go. And thank you to everyone that came throughout the day and watched the sessions and listened to our amazing recruiters and speakers today. We really appreciate your time as well. And have a wonderful